Part 1. Don't panic. What to do if you forget an answer during the U.S. citizenship test.
Welcome to Citizenship Circles, Guided Paths to Belonging. I'm Andrea, your host, mentor, and slightly obsessive civics nerd. And joining me today is David, a future citizen of the United States and a man armed with determination and, let's say, a lot of post-it notes.
Hey, Andrea, that's accurate. I think I have more sticky notes on my mirror than toothpaste stains. And trust me, that's saying something.
Perfect. That means you're doing it right. Sticky notes are the battle flags of serious students. So, David, let's jump in. Today's theme, the role of support, teachers, mentors, coaches on your path to citizenship. How important has that been for you?
Oh, massively important. I mean, I came here thinking I could study alone. Just read the 100 questions, memorize the answers, and boom, citizenship. But then I realized I didn't know what emancipation meant, or petition the government, or even the supreme law of the land.
Ah, yes, the classic trap. Thinking a list of answers equals understanding. That's like memorizing a recipe without knowing how to cook.
Exactly. And then, I met this amazing ESL teacher at the community center, Mr. Howard. He didn't just translate words. He told stories. He said, when we say freedom of religion, imagine a street with 10 churches, a mosque, and a yoga studio all next to each other, and nobody bats an eye.
That's a vivid image, and that's the secret weapon of good mentors, context. It's one thing to memorize freedom of religion. It's another to understand that it means your neighbor can be Catholic, you can be Buddhist, and your other neighbor can believe in flying toasters. And it's all okay.
Right, and that changed how I approached every question. I stopped asking, what's the answer? And started asking, what does this mean?
Beautiful shift. Let's do that now. Question, what is the supreme law of the land?
That's the Constitution.
Good, but let's go deeper. What did Mr. Howard teach you about the Constitution?
He said to picture it like a GPS. Without it, everyone drives in circles. With it, we all get to the same destination, even if we take different roads.
I love that. The Constitution as GPS. You can choose your own route, but there's still a shared destination. Order, rights, structure. It's the document that says, hey, here's how we do things in this country.
It gave me confidence, because suddenly I wasn't just learning facts, I was learning how to navigate.
And mentors help us do that. They aren't just cheerleaders, they're guides. They help us build mental maps, and sometimes emotional ones too.
You're not kidding. When I learned about the civil rights movement, Rosa Parks, Dr. King, I got choked up. Mr. Howard paused and said, David, this isn't just American history. This is human dignity. You belong in that story, too.
Wow. That's what great teaching does. It doesn't just fill your head, it touches your heart. That's the kind of support every student deserves.
That's why I'm here today. Not just because I studied, but because someone believed I could belong here. He saw more in me than I saw in myself.
And now you're proving him right. Let's look at another question. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do?
It freed the slaves in the Confederate States.
Yes, Now, instead of just reciting that, how do you feel when you say it?
Like it was a moral earthquake. Like Lincoln shook the foundation of injustice. And when I answer that question, I think of my own journey, from feeling invisible to standing up and saying, I have rights, too.
That's powerful. And that transformation, that's the real citizenship journey. Not just getting a certificate, but becoming someone who sees justice, values freedom, and stands up for it.
And I couldn't have gotten here alone. I needed someone to walk me through it. To say, look again. See deeper.
That's what mentors do. They aren't just giving answers, they're opening doors. They're saying, you can do this. You do belong. Let's go there together.
And the test becomes less scary. It becomes a map of where you've already been, not just a quiz.
Exactly. Every question becomes a reflection of what you've learned, what you believe, and where you're headed. David, tell me, do you remember the first civics question that made you go, wait, this is more than just memorizing facts?
Oh yeah, it was. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? The answer is, to be loyal to the United States, right?
Yes.
But it hit me hard. Like, what does that mean? Loyalty? I left my home country. I love where I came from. But I'm also building a life here. Can I be loyal to both?
That's such a real and honest question. And let me say, loyalty doesn't mean erasing your past. It means adding to your future. Think of it like learning a second language. You don't lose the first. You grow by adding another.
So when I say, I'm loyal to the United States, I'm not betraying where I came from. I'm just saying, I'm part of this place now, too.
Exactly. And you know who helped me understand that? My own student from years ago, Maria. She was from Colombia. She cried during the oath ceremony, not from sadness, but because she said, now I can protect both my children and my memories.
That's beautiful, and that's why support matters. You can't Google your way through that kind of reflection.
Nope. It's about conversation, about being seen. That's why good teachers and mentors create space, not just for answers, but for meaning.
Yeah, Mr. Howard used to say, this is not just a civics class. This is your story workshop. And we'd share things about our countries, our struggles, our hopes.
See? That's a classroom turned into a community. And that's what citizenship really is. Community. Not just knowing who signs a bill into law, but why it matters that we have laws.
Okay, pop quiz. Ready?
Bring it on.
What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence?
Life and liberty.
Nice. But here's what Mr. Howard did. He asked, what does liberty mean to you? And everyone gave different answers. Some said safety. Others said education. One woman said, being able to wear what I want without fear.
That's so real. Liberty isn't a statue, it's a feeling, and it changes for each person. That's what makes this country dynamic.
And it made the test more personal. Like, I'm not just studying history, I'm part of the story now.
That's the transformation, from test taker to citizen in the making, and support makes that possible. Because the truth is, learning is emotional. The best teachers help us see who we are becoming.
I feel like I'm becoming someone who can speak up. Someone who can help others.
Then you've already passed the most important test.
Thanks, Andrea. That means more than any certificate.
You're welcome, David. And remember, behind every answer is a mentor who helped shape the question. And behind every new citizen is a circle of support saying, yes, you belong.
Part 2. Memory Tricks and Confidence Tips for the U.S. Citizenship Interview.
Welcome back to Citizenship Circles, Guided Paths to Belonging. I'm Andrea, still your guide up this mighty civics mountain, and with me is the ever-curious and always committed David.
You make it sound epic, like we're climbing Everest or something.
In a way, we are. The citizenship test is a small mountain in terms of length, but a big one in meaning. And like any mountain, it's easier with someone showing you the path, pointing out the loose rocks, the shortcuts, the places to stop and breathe.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that. I remember thinking, I'll just memorize a few questions every night, no big deal. But the further I got, the more confused I became, especially with all the similar-sounding names. Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe. My brain was just like, too many old white wigs.
Classic case. That's when a teacher or mentor becomes your hiking buddy. Let's take a moment. Pop quiz time. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Thomas Jefferson, but I used to mix him up with John Adams and James Madison constantly.
A common mix-up. Here's how I helped one of my students remember. Imagine a dinner party. Jefferson is the eloquent one with a pen, always quoting philosophy. Adams is the loud one arguing in the kitchen. And Madison, quiet guy in the corner, writing the Constitution on a napkin.
That's perfect. So Jefferson equals Declaration, Madison equals Constitution, Adams equals arguing?
Exactly. And Monroe, just trying to keep the peace with the Monroe Doctrine. He's outside talking to the neighbors.
See, that's what support does. It makes it human. It's not just facts, it's people.
Yes, mentors take you beyond trivia. They help you see that history is filled with real people, not just names on flashcards.
Mr. Howard once told me, don't just study the answers, study the why behind them. That helps so much. Like, when we talked about checks and balances, he acted it out with 3 students. One made a rule, the second enforced it, and the third challenged it in court.
Oh, that's gold. I've done the same thing. The legislative student says, no snacks in class. Executive student enforces it. Judicial student says, wait, this violates my snack rights.
Exactly, and suddenly, the concept sticks. I never forgot it after that.
That's the magic of interactive learning and the magic of a good mentor. They turn abstract systems into moments of clarity.
I wish everyone studying for this test had a teacher like Mr. Howard.
Well, in a way, they can. That's why shows like this exist. To spread that support beyond the classroom. To remind people that they're not alone on this path.
And the truth is, no one climbs a mountain alone. Even the strongest climbers use ropes, guides, maps.
Exactly. The U.S. citizenship test isn't just a test of knowledge. It's a test of preparation and of community. And the people who help you up the mountain, they become part of your citizenship story.
That's beautiful, because it's true. Every time I answer a question now, I hear Mr. Howard's voice guiding me.
You're carrying him with you. That's what great mentors do. They live in your answers. So, David, let's talk about one of the most powerful things a mentor can do. Personalize the material. Tell me, was there a civics question that felt especially personal to you?
Yes, this one. What is one reason colonists came to America? The answer is freedom, right?
Correct.
But Mr. Howard didn't stop there. He asked, what kind of freedom? And people said different things. Freedom from persecution, from poverty, from monarchy. Then he asked us, why did you come?
That's a brilliant connection.
For me, I came for opportunity. A better education, a future for my kids. That made me realize, I'm not so different from those colonists.
Right. That question becomes more than just history. It becomes a mirror. It reflects your own journey.
And it made me care more. Because suddenly the test wasn't about them, it was about us. My story was part of this bigger story.
That's citizenship in its most powerful form, not just passing a test, but finding your place in the narrative of a nation.
Exactly, and there was another one that hit me hard. What is one promise you make when you become a U.S. citizen? You know, to defend the Constitution and laws of the United States.
A big one. What did that mean to you?
It made me think, would I really defend this country if needed? And the answer surprised me. Yes, because now I see this place as home. Not just a stop, but a commitment.
That's such a powerful realization, and you reached it because someone helped you reflect.
Yeah, and we even role-played it. Mr. Howard had us pretend we were taking the oath of allegiance. I stood up, raised my right hand, and repeated it out loud. I actually cried. I didn't expect to, but the words felt real.
That moment, that's when you passed the heart test, even before the civics one.
And it made the questions easier. Because now I understand why they're asking them. Not to trip you up, but to see if you're ready to join the story.
And support, mentors, teachers, friends, they help you connect with the story. They don't just drill you on answers, they help you care.
Yeah, it's like someone handing you a puzzle piece and saying, here, you belong here. This piece is yours.
Exactly. Let's do another one. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do?
He fought for civil rights. But more than that, he showed people that peaceful change is possible.
Now you're speaking like someone who sees beyond the flashcard.
Because Mr. Howard played that speech for us, I have a dream. And then he asked, what's your dream? Everyone had one. I said, to vote, and to help my children dream bigger than I did.
David, that's a dream worth fighting for, and you're already making it real.
Thanks, Andrea, and thank you for being another one of those guides.
My pleasure. And to everyone listening, remember, this test isn't just about what you know. It's about what you understand, what you care about, and who walked beside you as you learned it.
Part 3. From Fear to Confidence. Your journey to passing the U.S. citizenship test.
We're back on citizenship circles, and David, can you believe how far we've come?
It's wild. A few weeks ago, I was panicking over how many representatives there are, and now I'm confidently saying 435, like I've always known.
That's the magic of practice and support. And now, in this final leg of our talk, I want to dig into how mentors help with what I call test fluency. Not just knowing answers, but being able to talk about them, connect them, even teach them.
Interesting. I always thought the goal was just to memorize, pass, and move on.
That's the goal for a quiz, but the citizenship test, it's the beginning of your public life in a new country. Fluency matters. That's where mentors shine. They get you to speak the language of citizenship.
Yeah, Mr. Howard would do these mock interviews with us. He'd pretend to be the USCIS officer and ask the questions all out of order, just to keep us on our toes.
Smart. Real officers don't follow the book line by line. They want to see if you understand, not if you crammed.
And he'd throw in curveballs, like asking, what's one reason the colonists fought the British? And if someone only said, taxes, he'd say, okay, but what kind of taxes? And suddenly you had to think.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more your answers gain depth. And when you can explain things in your own words, you're not just passing, you're owning the material.
We even had a mentor swap day. Students who were further along in their prep coached the newer ones.
Now that's beautiful. Teaching is the ultimate test of understanding. If you can explain why the Constitution was written or why we celebrate July 4th, then you're not just memorizing, you're becoming part of the civic fabric.
One of the new students asked me, why does the flag have 13 stripes? And I said, each one is a reminder of a colony that said, we'll stand together or fall apart. And he goes, whoa, that made me feel like I was already a citizen in spirit.
And you are. Practicing with others, coaching, speaking your truth, that's all part of belonging. Citizenship is not just a legal status, it's a voice.
I've noticed that, the more I prepare, the more I want to use that voice. To vote, to volunteer, to speak up.
And that's how it should be. This test isn't a gate to keep people out. It's a bridge to invite you in. Let's do something fun, a little role play. I'll be the USCIS officer. You're the applicant, but we'll put a little extra soul into the answers, okay?
Let's do it.
Mr. David, good morning. Why are you here today?
To take the final step in becoming a U.S. citizen, and to honor the journey that brought me here.
Beautiful. First civics question, what is the rule of law?
It means no one is above the law, not the president, not the police, not me. Everyone plays by the same rules. It's what keeps the country fair.
What did the Declaration of Independence do?
It told the world we were done being ruled by a distant king. That we would govern ourselves, based on the idea that everyone is created equal.
Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s.
World War II. My grandfather actually served in a similar war back home. He always believed that standing up to injustice mattered, no matter where you live.
David, that is a citizenship-level answer with a full heart behind it.
Thanks, Andrea. It feels different when I answer like this. More real.
Because it is real. This test reflects history, values, identity, and when you answer with context and care, it shows you're ready to carry the responsibility.
It also helps to know someone wants you to succeed. Mr. Howard used to say, "The officer is not your enemy." They want citizens who care. Show them who you are.
Wise man. Officers aren't robots. They respect when people answer with honesty, not just accuracy.
And I think the more you role play, the more you feel like a citizen already.
Exactly. Repetition builds confidence. Confidence leads to clarity, and clarity is what helps you walk into that interview with pride.
It's like rehearsal for a big performance, except the stage is your future.
That's the quote of the day. Let's wrap up our role play with one last one. Why do some states have more representatives than others?
Because some states have more people, and this way, everyone's voice counts. It's about fairness and balance, making sure every part of the country is heard.
10 out of 10, David.
I couldn't have done this without my mentors.
Here we are, David, the end of our series. How does it feel?
Honestly, like I climbed a hill, and now I can see the view. It's emotional.
It should be. This isn't just about passing a test. It's about transformation. You came in asking, "Can I do this?" And now you're saying, "I am this."
I feel that, and what's wild is, every answer now feels like part of me. I don't have to remember them. I believe them.
Yes, that's how citizenship becomes a lived reality, and none of it happens alone.
That's the biggest lesson. I thought this was a solo mission, but it turned out to be a community journey.
That's how it's meant to be. This is why mentorship, coaching, and encouragement matter. They're the soil that helps new citizens grow roots.
And now I want to be that for others. Once I'm naturalized, I want to volunteer, help people study, maybe even teach.
That's how you pay it forward, and that's how the circle continues. Every new citizen becomes a future mentor.
I just hope every applicant out there knows. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be supported.
Absolutely. And let's end with that spirit. Final reflection. If you could give advice to someone just starting to study, what would you say?
I'd say, don't just memorize, connect. Find a mentor, a friend, a class, a podcast, anything that makes you feel less alone. The questions may be standard, but your answers are personal. And you matter.
Beautifully said. And to all our listeners, remember this. Citizenship isn't a finish line, it's a door. And behind that door is a life you build with others, with rights, responsibilities, and real pride.
Thank you, Andrea. This has meant everything to me.
Thank you, David. And thank you to every teacher, every friend, every volunteer who makes this journey a little easier. You are the quiet heroes of America's future.